Hi friends, my name is Sydney Nitskorsky. I'm a registered dietitian and a fitness instructor and co-author of the book, The Complete Bone and Joint Health Plan with my good friend, Dr. Jocelyn Wittstein. Today I have a 20-minute fall and fracture prevention video. This video has some strength, some agility, some mobility, some balance work, and some core work. So a real combination of all of the things you want for fracture and fall prevention. You need some dumbbells for the strength work. I have a set of 15s and a set of 10s. It's for overhead presses and for deadlifts. So think about the heaviest weight that you can comfortably is maybe not the right word, capably do. The heaviest weight that you could capably do for those two lifts. The rest is balance work and core work, and you won't need it, and some jumping, some impact work. You won't need equipment. So we have 9 exercises. I know it's a lot, but we're going to go through them twice. Sometimes the first exercise is right side only. Sometimes the second exercise is left side only. Sometimes it's the same thing. We will go through 2 rounds. So we're going to get to about 18 minutes of work, and then whatever we have left over, we'll do a little balance exercise together at the end. All right, friends, we are coming down to the mat, starting with a bird dog or an alternate arm leg extension. Start with your hands. I'm starting the clock. Hands underneath your shoulders. Right arm and left leg extend out. Bring it back. And then the other side. So we're alternating between right and left and right. You can hold it for a little second there. I honestly do not know why this is called bird dog. I used to always call it alternate arm leg extension, but either way works. It's a great stability exercise, core exercise. Pull your belly button in and really think about communicating the rights and the lefts on this, because every time you walk, your right side and your left side are working together. So we want the brain to really get used to that coordination and make it a little bit more challenging so that walking becomes even easier. 5 more seconds, friends. Even yourself up from right to left, whatever you need to do. And we're going to flip over and essentially do this exact same exercise on our backs. So we're going to go into a dead bug. This is one of my favorite core exercises other than the awful name. Start in tabletop position, so knees at a right angle, hands reaching up towards the ceiling at a right angle to your spine. And then same idea where we have the right side and left side, tapping down, coming back, and ideally, and then we switch sides. Ideally, your heel and your thumb hit at the exact same time. So just going slow enough that you can coordinate. If you find that one side is always reaching first, then slow it down. Make your brain work to have perfect coordination on this one. Go as slow as you need to. If you feel like you can speed it up a little bit, that's fine too. Every now and again, I'll hold a very light dumbbell, maybe 1, 2, or 3 pounds, nothing more. And that adds a nice layer to this. Let's see where we're at in terms of time. 3 more seconds. So make this your last one. Beautiful. That was the second exercise. We have a nice, simple, and again, simple does not mean easy. It just means easy to kind of understand, but not easy to do. A dumbbell squat. So I'm going to use 1 dumbbell for this in a gauntlet style, holding it right up by my chest. Feet a little wider than hip width, and just sitting my tush all the way back and up. Something I say in every single Zoom class that I teach. I do not want you to have knee pain. If you have knee pain when you're doing this, first you can try lowering the weight or getting rid of it. Although if you can handle a little weight, that's always the best for bone stimulation, bone mass stimulation. But if you have knee pain, get rid of the weight, make it lower, or shorten it up. So if you have knee pain at the bottom of the exercise, maybe you go halfway down and then back up. And that's fine. It's not a full squat, but it's better than having knee pain as you go through it. All right, we have about 15 more seconds here. If you have no pain, then maybe you can handle a little bit more weight, or maybe you want to do 2 weights, suitcase style. That would be great too. Last one. Beautiful. All right, we're going to go into a overhead press with our dumbbells. I'm using slightly lighter weights, 10 pounds. And really important here that you don't arch back. So sometimes I'll have somebody just go against a wall and do this without dumbbells because you can't arch back when you're on a wall. Slowly lifting both dumbbells overhead, coming back down to a right angle. And there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different forms to do an overhead press. You can bring your hands together, you can rotate, but right now we're just doing a nice, simple, wide angle overhead press. And a couple things I'm thinking about. Pull the belly button in without arching, without rounding. And if you get to the point where you're like, oh, this weight's getting really heavy, start to alternate. See if that helps. Sometimes I'll go right, left together, right, left together. Right now I'm able to do both together because we only have 10 seconds left. But really watch the elbows dropping. Very often people bring their hands down here as a little rest. Keep them up. It's going to be harder. I know this. but just do it anyways. Get more work out of it. That's 45 seconds. Beautiful. All right, put that down. That was a dumbbell overhead press. We're going to move on to right side only single leg toe touch. So stand on your right leg. And all right, I'm going to show you many variations here. Here's the exercise. On the right side, trying to balance, tapping the ground. I put my hands together, stand up without dropping my leg, ideally, and repeat. If that feels like too much, you can modify it in a lot of ways. You can put your back toe down for a little help. It might travel a little bit behind you, but just staying on the ground so that you have a little more stability. Or you can bring the floor a little closer to you. So if you had a block or a foam roller like I have here, touch it and come back up. A chair works really well for this. You can also touch it at a much higher height if you feel like you need that help. Totally fine. Any way of bringing the ground closer to you. Let's do that one more time. We are on the right side only. The second round, we'll do the left side. All right, nice job. We're going to do a side shuffle, working on a little bit of agility work. Your heart rate's going to go up a little bit. We're starting in 5 seconds. So you're just going to start at one side of your mat, tap both hands real flat, and then stay low, real fast with the feet to the other side. If you have more space, feel free to go all the way across the room. I'm just going to try and stay within your vision right here. But I'm tapping flat hands every time, staying pretty low. And the purpose of this is just to get your feet moving quickly, coordinating, balancing. 20 down, 25 to go. Nice job, friends. So like I said, this video is a little bit of everything you need for fracture and fall prevention. Strength, agility, mobility, balance, core work. One-stop shop. 10 more seconds. Be grateful your heart rate's going up. I love this kind of training where you do a little bit and then you go into strength or balance. A little bit of intervals. Last one. Take a second, have some water if you want. We're going to do a dumbbell deadlift. So I have 2 fairly heavy dumbbells. These are 15s. Think about your upper body getting involved here. So with a squat, it's almost all lower body. With a deadlift, the upper body helps out as well. So you come as far close to the ground as you can, get those dumbbells, and then stand, pull the shoulder blades back and together. Nice big inhale on the way down. So it's a really great full body exercise. If you had a barbell that you were holding like in front of your body like this, it's a really nice way to do it as well. But I recognize not everybody has access to a barbell. And you just get as low as you can. Stand up, push through the heels. Feel your heart rate go up. That's a great thing. We have about 7 seconds left, so let's get 2 more in. Last one. Nice work. All right, that was a dumbbell deadlift. Now we've got a nice balance exercise, a hip rotation. So let's stand on our right leg. I promise we'll even ourselves out in the next round. And we're just going to do a big hip rotation, a big hip circle. I needed to use my hands to help out with balance. So hands can be out to the side, on your hips, wherever you need. And I'm just doing real slow movements here. We'll do the other side in the next round, but tapping the foot really, really lightly as if you're touching the top of an egg or a potato chip, but you're not cracking it or crunching it. Use your hands to counterbalance whenever you need to. And if this is like impossible, you're like, no, there's no way I can do this, put one hand on a wall. Maybe even just one finger sometimes is enough to help. Beautiful. Nice job. We have one last exercise, little hops or jumps. You can do this in many different ways. So if you don't want your feet to leave the ground, instead of hopping, you can do heel slams or heel drops, where you go up onto your toes and then just drop down into a little bit of a squat. If you do want to do hops, you can keep them nice and fast like this. And I like to swing my hands. I feel like that helps me, but you can also keep them in front of you, or you can make these really big. I'm going to do the smaller ones. I think these are excellent. They make my heart rate go up. They're great for stimulating bone density. And you can always combine all of these. Here you go. Any combination works. We are at 35 seconds, so 10 to go. Then let's have a sip of water. Almost there, friend. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, Dunzo. Have some water. All right, that's one full round. We're at about 9 minutes. We're going to do a second round with a couple of variations. And then we'll do one balance exercise at the end. All right, on to bird dog. So alternate arm and leg extension, coordinating. Maybe if you really want to try a challenge, you close your eyes here. I don't often suggest closing the eyes because we need our eyes for balance quite a bit, but it is a nice way of challenging yourself when you have no risk of falling. So since I'm grounded on the floor here, closing my eyes, you immediately start to tighten up your stomach a little bit, which is what we should be doing anyways, but it's a nice little reminder. And don't forget, toe down. I know we want to turn our feet out, or at least I do. All right, last one on this side. Perfect. Flip it over into a dead bug. I have my trusty little helper Bruno lying by my side. All right. Feet up. Make 2 fists with your hands as if you're squeezing lemons. So put some active energy into your fist. Make a muscle and then go from there. Big extension. Come back in. Make sure you've got that right angle in your knee. I know a lot of times what happens is we pull in too far. If you want to make it a little harder, you can pull out. Although, for whatever reason doing that, my brain instinct was like, I don't know what side to do. And I did the same side. And there's a lot of different ways you can do dead bug. You can do the same side, but right now we're doing alternate sides. And we have only 10 more seconds. So time for 1 or 2 more per side. By the way, if you did do the same side, that happens all the time when I'm in a class and I'm teaching alternates. People do the same side all the time. So you're in good company. All right, friends, that was dead bug. Now we've got a squat. I'm going to do this with 2 dumbbells this time, see how it feels. Sometimes for me, it hurts my knees and I'll go down to 1. Sometimes it feels great. So suitcase style at your side or gauntlet style, up to you. You can hold these in so many different places. I kind of like in the middle as well. It's a little much for my upper body to hold it like this. 1 is fine, but the knees feel okay, so that's good news. The more weight you can do comfortably, the better. And that's always my goal, finding how much I can do with good form and no joint pain. And it changes by the day, but the more you do, the more lifting you do, the more you figure out what you can tolerate. Getting the heart rate up. So I formulated this workout so that there were some balance exercises and then some agility to get our heart rate up, and then some strength and then some balance. So a little combination of everything. All right, put those weights down. That was our dumbbell squat. We're going to do an overhead press. So I'm going to use my 10s again. I liked that weight. If you want to work on a little balance, you can always do 1 leg. That's one of my favorite things to do, is strength train on 1 leg. So I'll tell you after 20 seconds so you can keep even from right to left. And you could definitely skip the 1 leg and just have both feet on the ground, or you can do a little kickstand where you have just a little bit of pressure from the other leg, a little help, but the right side or whatever side is still working. Go ahead and switch sides. A little over 20. Stopping the elbows at a right angle. Keep that tension in the muscles by not dropping below 90 degrees. If you feel yourself starting to lean back, slow it down. I could tell that I'm getting tired and I started to lean back, so just slow it down. Let's get 1 more in. Nice job. Now we're on toe touch. Whew. All right, we did the right side. Now we're going to do the left side. So same idea, just standing on the left. Modify however you need to. So if you don't need any modifications, you're just going to tap the toes. Nope, those are fingers. Tap the fingers, then stand up. Either drive the foot through. If you need to balance check and put it down, that's fine. But if you don't need to, tap, stand. Very often my hands come apart like they just did when I'm working to balance. And my big toe is pushing into the ground right now really firmly. So there's a good example of when I needed to use my hands for balance. And if the floor seems impossibly far away, make it a little bit higher by putting a block or even a pillow, something to go for that you tap. Let's get 1 more in after this. Reach for it, friends. Stand all the way up. Nice job. All right, that was single leg toe touch. We did both sides. We're going to do side shuffle, starting in about 7 seconds. If you need some water, have some water. And take a nice deep breath. We know the heart rate's going to go up. That's a good thing. Go for it. 45 seconds. Tapping. Very often when I teach this one in the class, I see people like just reaching with their fingertips, and I ask for a flat tap because it forces you, hey buddy, to go down all the way, to use your legs a little bit more. And I did not do a great job clearing my space. I've got dumbbells everywhere. Just be careful of that. If you have, dog toys or baby toys or children or whatever on the floor, be very careful. And if you want to get a little more leg work in, stay really low on this. I wasn't doing a great job remembering that in the first few, so now I'm going to stay really low, like there's a ceiling right above me. One more time all the way over. Nice job. Second round of side shuffle. Oh, good work. All right. Now we're on to deadlift. I would say this is the most full body strength exercise of all of them. So feet hip width, maybe slightly wider, but probably just about hip width. Take a nice deep breath and begin. Coming as far down as you can, all the way to the ground if you can, and then standing up using the shoulder blades to pull back. Get into a good rhythm with breathing. Even if we hadn't just done that side shuffle, your heart rate would still go up because this is such a big leg and full body exercise. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth really purposefully can be really helpful to bring the heart rate down. Nice job, friends. We have about 5 seconds left, so 2 more. Get the last one. Beautiful. Put that down. Have a quick sip of water. We are on the left leg, hip rotations with the right side. Want to make sure we do that correctly. Yep. Stand on the left leg, rotating the hip. And you might find either your range of motion or your balance is much better or much worse on one side. And very often it's because maybe you turned an ankle 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You don't notice it in day-to-day life, which is great. But then when you do a really specific balance exercise like this, it can come out. So the leg you're standing on, bent just a little bit. Big toe pushing into the ground again. And you can have a focal point. I would say 5 feet in front of me on the ground, or maybe lifting up. So if it's on the ground, don't pull your head down. Head is up, but eyes are down. That's 45 seconds. Last one. All right, get ready for the last round of hops. That'll take us to 18 minutes. And we're going to do 2 exercises, 1 minute on the right side, 1 minute on the left side. Take a nice deep breath, friends, and begin. Hops, however you want to do them. And again, remember, you can modify. You can do drop. Oops, you can do drops or heel, lift and slams, however you want to do it. I'm going to try and stick with these because they're the hardest for me, but I'm able to do them. And again, you can do hands on the hips, swing them like I was. If you have to, you can tap right to left, but that makes it a little easier. So whatever challenges you the most. You only have 15 seconds left, and then we're totally done with these. And the last exercise, like I keep mentioning, is balance. So I feel like that's a little friendlier. 5 more seconds, friends. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Oh, catch your breath. Have some water. For 1 minute, we're going to stand on one leg and do shapes. And then the other minute, we'll do the same thing. Shapes and letters. So let's stand on our right leg. Stand real tall. Just try and trace the alphabet. You can do it in script or non-script. And my guess is a full minute will be enough to do most of the alphabet, but not get to those shapes, and that's fine. We'll just do the alphabet. I think I'm on E. I can always tell when people get to I because they do this like kick for the little thing on top, the tittle on top, and the Z goes like, psh, psh. Anyways, I don't know what I'm on. Let's say J. When you're doing this, try and keep your leg really straight. If you're having trouble connecting, think about a paintbrush strapped to your toe and you're drawing on a big canvas. And if you're like, oh, I can't remember what letter I'm on, like me, just write your name or use your leg in any way that is not uniform. So shapes, but the alphabet's a really great way to do this. So all A to Z on one side, and then go ahead and switch whatever you got up to on one side. Maybe you get up to it or surpass it on the other side. For me, as I'm a righty, this side like feels easier just to coordinate, but that's fine. It's a good way. Standing on one leg is a great way of throwing yourself off balance in a safe way. So to that end, make sure nothing's around you. There's no little like toys or anything on the floor that you could fall over on. I'm just making shapes now since I'm talking. And we have 30 seconds left. But always make sure you're in a safe position. And if you have to, sometimes just one finger on the wall is enough to help with balance. You always stay tall, push that big toe in. Finish up your alphabet. You've got about 15 seconds left. I'm going to go from try that Z. That's a fun one. Finishing up in 3, 2, 1. Friends, that's your 20-minute fall and fracture prevention video. I'm Sydney Nitskorsky. Please think about subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful day.